slight mishap on the campaign trail for John McCain. Staffers confirmed this morning that the 72-year-old senator was accidentally left on his campaign bus overnight after a speech in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Joining us now from the War for the White House election analysis bunker with details is Jane Carmichael. Good to see you, Jane.
Hi, Andrea.
Now, how did campaign officials discover they had left Senator McCain all by himself?
Well, Andrea, according to a campaign spokesman, at just after 7 a.m., two local Stroudsburg residents were taking a morning walk when they noticed a forlorn-looking McCain staring out a window on the bus. When they asked him if he wanted to be let out, the senator nodded yes, and the women opened the door. We spoke with the women earlier via phone.
I saw all these scratches all over the window, and I thought something is going on here. He wants to get out.
Now, Jane, we've heard that the senator wasn't seriously injured.
That's right, Andrea. Apparently, several windows on the bus were open a crack, so he was in no real danger.
Oh, well, lucky for the senator.
Yes, he was apparently extremely thirsty and really needed to use the restroom, but he was otherwise okay. The women found his wife's phone number in one of McCain's coat pockets and used a cell phone to call her.
Well, that was smart thinking by whoever put that number in his pocket.
Yes.
Now, we understand there were some damages done to the bus.
Yes. Senator McCain ripped the bus seat fabric quite a bit and scattered a box of half-eaten granola bars throughout the interior. But McCain staffers were quick to point out that it was quite natural that the senator panicked after waking up to find himself all alone on a dark bus.
Of course.
McCain's spokesman answered questions about this earlier today.
Senator McCain has his good days and his bad days. This apparently was one of his bad days. He was resting comfortably now. We bought him some black licorice and a book of puzzles, so that ought to keep him busy for a while.
The campaign is taking steps to make sure this doesn't happen again. They plan to buy McCain a state-of-the-art communication and locating device. They're also planning to post a sign inside the bus reminding campaign staffers to double-check that they have the senator before locking the bus at night.
Well, it sounds like the McCain campaign learned a valuable lesson today,
You bet they did, Andrea.
Taking care of John McCain's a big responsibility.
You know, it sure is, but they all knew that when they got him as their candidate, so they need to take this seriously.
Well, they certainly do, Jane. Thank you for the update. Although McCain doesn't appear to have suffered any injuries during his ordeal, campaign officials said that just to be safe, they plan to take him to the DOCTOR. Moving on, in a speech today, Barack Obama promised Wisconsin residents he would get them jobs in different, better states. To business leaders in Detroit today, John McCain announced details of his new economic recovery plan, under which every American would marry a wealthy beer heiress. McCain said he is confident the plan would benefit ordinary Americans based on his personal experience of marrying the daughter of millionaire Anheuser-Busch distributor James Hensley, saying, quote, "Marrying a beer heiress brought me financial security, and it can do the same for all Americans." McCain promised the Marry a Beer Heiress for America plan would allow every U.S. citizen to fund their retirement, ride in private jets, and even finance their own presidential campaigns.
And my friends, we can do it. Americans together can do it. Our best days are ahead of us.
At a press conference earlier today, McCain campaign spokesman Dan Beckner said the plan is part of McCain's pro-growth, pro-jobs agenda.
This isn't a government handout. No one is going to be given a beer heiress. You'll have to woo one on your own.
Later in the day, McCain met with laid-off auto workers, telling them he understood their struggle because of, quote, "the time before I bagged my rich wife." McCain posted some personal tips for how Americans can seduce their beer heiress on his campaign website, including starting their search at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel Bar in Honolulu, complimenting the beer heiress on her earrings, and buying her Tanqueray and tonics while charming her with a story about their decorated military career.
If there aren't any beer heiresses in your town, be creative. Marry the heiress to a logging fortune.
Now, the Obama campaign slammed McCain's beer heiress plan, saying it left out the millions of Americans who could pull themselves out of hardship by writing 2 autobiographical books and giving a speech at the Democratic National Convention. When we return, a closer look at last night's political crony debate. When McCain was asked how the beer heiress plan had worked out for him, he pointed at his wife with his thumb, rubbed his thumb and forefinger together to make the universal symbol for money, and winked lasciviously. We're getting new information on a story we first reported several hours ago, the mall shooting in the crucial swing state of Iowa. Let's go now to Jack Bergen in the War of the White House bunker for an update. Jack.
Thanks, Andrea. Earlier today in Des Moines, a single gunman opened fire in the Woodview Square Mall, leaving at least 15 potential voters dead and over a dozen more seriously injured. Now, at this point, we can confirm that 4 of those killed were Democrats and 7 were Republicans. 6 of the dead were not of voting age, so not of consequence here.
So the Obama camp has got to be excited about the outcome of this mass killing so far.
Well, as of now, certainly looking good for the Democrats, but 3 bodies have yet to be identified.
Okay.
And police are still searching the mall for anyone who may have crawled off bleeding and died in some nook or cranny.
So how long will it be until we can tally the final results of the shooting?
Andrea, hang on a second. I'm getting an update right now on 2 of the unidentified victims. Okay, it's the young married couple who was shot in the chest multiple times outside the KB toy store.
Were they registered?
No official word yet, but apparently, while paramedics were trying to revive them, they discovered Obama buttons pinned to their bloody garments.
Finally, a little ray of sunshine for the McCain camp.
They've got some momentum back.
And what about the young pregnant woman shot in the head inside Banana Republic?
Well, witnesses reported seeing her praying during the shootout.
Oh, really?
Leading some to believe she was a church-going conservative.
Okay, Jack, let's look at the broader picture here. What about the family members of the victims? Will they still vote?
We've been polling these family members all morning, but so far the results have been inconclusive.
Okay.
In fact, among family members we spoke with, only 4% were leaning McCain, 7% for Obama, while 89% were crying incoherently.
How will I vote? I'm not sure. I can't really think about it.
Now, let's talk about the biggest wild card here, the shooter himself.
Right. Okay, he's a registered independent. His name is Jeff Frauein. He was shot in the neck by a mall security guard.
Okay.
But he could still cast a ballot if he regains consciousness and votes absentee from the hospital before his court date.
Yeah, the candidates begun vying for Frauein's vote.
You know, just before committing suicide about an hour ago, Frauein's longtime girlfriend mentioned that the killer had been planning to vote Democrat this year. After that news broke, the Obama campaign launched a special section on their website where supporters can donate money to pay for the best medical care to keep Frauein alive.
Interesting strategy.
But the McCain camp is not giving up. The director of McCain's Iowa campaign office made this statement shortly after. Let's take a look.
Mr. Frauein, John McCain has always been a staunch supporter of the rights that are important to you, like the right to own a gun. If you're not still in a coma come this November, we hope you'll vote John McCain for America.
The McCain camp clearly not ready to concede this bloodbath to Obama.
Well, this election season's taught us that things can change in an instant, Jack, so there's still plenty of time for McCain to catch up.
And tomorrow there could be a dorm fire in a liberal arts college.
Right.
A tornado might pass through the black section of Cedar Rapids.
Well, I'm sure McCain has his fingers crossed. Thanks, Jack.